Oh, goodness. What's up, y'all? I'm Big Charles, and low-key, I'm just a quirked-up white boy in my psychopath era. My villain arc, winter arc, I'm lifting weights. But spring is here, and I'm invading people in Demon's Souls remake on the PlayStation 5. And I'm not being very nice. I'm not very fond of invaders being nice. Like, this isn't a book club, buddy. And that's actually what this video is about. We have to have a talk before it's too late. Chase the Bro and its consequences have been a disaster for the invader race. Just kidding. But there is truth in every jest. And that truth has been gnawing at me for some time now. Invasions... Outplayed. Sorry. Invasions are supposed to be mean. Invaders are supposed to be mean. By design. It is a fundamentally mean-spirited and depraved mode of multiplayer interaction, wholly unique to the modern FromSoft catalog. But that isn't the part that keeps me up at night. That's the part I love. No, what's been bothering me is the slow but steady intrusion of foreign concepts such as etiquette and fairness into the Wild West world of invasions. Lowest meat cleaver damage. I don't want to duel a phantom, and I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to take what's yours and to leave. And if I could take more, I would. That's right. No more wholesome Chungus Charles. I have deleted my Reddit account. Some might call this unjust. These people are correct. And more importantly, these people lack the heart of a red. The killer instinct. This man is already dead. He was dead when I showed up. They lack the gumption, the chutzpah, that I have to show up uninvited to someone else's game session, knowing with absolute confidence that I am meaner, more skilled, and more prepared than whoever I'm about to engage in a fight to the death. I'm more willing to kill and take. And that's fine. I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't be like me. That isn't really the point of this video. The point of this video is that this is what invaders do, by design. Obviously, there is player agency and you can do whatever you want as a red. That being said, this is the intended gameplay, and it does enrich the experience. Only the most grizzled and experienced of players should be excited by an invader's appearance in their world. Most should feel fear and a reciprocal sense of meanness. It is a deadly game where mutually assured destruction is often the best case scenario for the host. Later games have deviated from this design philosophy a fair bit, creating a more gamified and user-friendly, digestible experience for all parties, but my heart has not changed. Will I be left behind? Perhaps. Is that fair? Probably. But I don't care. I'm a man of twinned spirits. The two wolves inside me live in violent harmony. I love the silly co-op of Night Rain, and I love viciously assaulting vulnerable lone adventurers in the dim, gritty corridors of Demon Souls. And respectively, neither of these two facts are due to me being a silly, funny guy or a violent psychopath, nor are they mutually exclusive. Boom. No, it comes down to the fact that I love these games, and I love the full range of experiences that they offer their players. I have simply no interest in narrowing the spectrum from cruel to kind interactions that these games provide us the tools to experience. In fact, I'd love if the spectrum was more extreme. I'd love if we had true seamless co-op. I'd love if throwing down your sign for randoms was more incentivized. I'd love if players could drop each other any item in the game. And I'd love to be allowed to loot corpses of players as an invader. I understand why these features have not yet been implemented or even widely discussed in these games communities, and I understand that they likely never will be. But I'm making a point. Much like the two wolves running wild in my nicotine-infused heart, these games thrive on the breadth and depth of interaction they offer. The depth only runs so deep, though. Sure, deeper than what is found in many modern games, but the real charm is in the breadth of player intention. It's my choice to help or hinder, and I find it strange and inhibiting of both that breadth and that depth to over-gamify these interactions or to impose real-world morality onto our characters in a dark fantasy RPG that encourages developing an in-game moral compass for each character you create, build, and play. It is fun and cool to play a paladin co-op build who aids and uplifts the weak and downtrodden in overcoming obstacles and helps them along their path in any way necessary. Just as much as it's fun and cool to play a wicked, demonic butcher or soul-hungry, oath-broken, enchanted knight who prey on those same weaklings, kicking their teeth in while they're down and siphoning the remaining strength from their corpses. Obviously, one of these things is nice, and one is mean. That's the point. It's fun and cool that we as players can choose to do one, the other, or both. There is a beautiful moral ambiguity and grayness to the unrestricted nature of multiplayer in these games. No matter how, why, or if you choose to engage with this design paradigm expressed throughout Soulsborne, it is there to encourage you to be prepared for anything, to get stronger and more knowledgeable, and to never feel safe when you venture out of the hub. This enriches and intensifies the experience by magnitudes. And without this, these games would be much closer to run-of-the-mill action RPGs, and no one wants that. No one who gets it, anyway. So, you may have noticed something different about this invasion that you're watching now. Two things, really. One, this is a co-op group. And two, more notably, they are willing to fight. They're meeting me where I'm coming from, with that reciprocal sense of meanness and willingness to kill that I mentioned earlier. They respect my space and have an appropriate level of fear, but they don't let that belittle their fighting spirit. Instead, they let it embolden them. They want to kill me, just like I want to kill them, and I have nothing but respect for this. I commend them for it, Many, not all, but many of the clips thus far featured lone hosts with little to no will to fight, no killer instinct, and a complete submission to me. That is not why I do this. And some may say I should simply leave rather than bully the unwilling, but I say, you get what's coming to you. An invasion is meant to be an interplay of hunting and being hunted for both parties. And if I'm not being hunted, all that's left to do is hunt. If you allow yourself to be a weak prey, I fail to see how it's my problem that the hunt will be over quickly and without much of a fight. Anyway, back to this invasion. One might protest that they're only willing to fight because they're together. And yeah, maybe. That isn't really the point though. It's the attitude. I've seen many co-op groups run away despite their numbers advantage, and I've seen more misguidedly offer me a series of duels that I have no interest in, as if to soften the harsher realities of my experience as an invader, as if I would ever do the same for them. And while I acknowledge their right to do all of these things and can understand the motivations behind these behaviors, nothing compels me to respect them. These games, generally, and especially in invasions, are about tooth and nail, down to the wire fights with ever-shifting odds and uncertain factors and outcomes. I'm a big boy, and I'm a bad red man, a real one. I don't want things to be simple. I don't want things to be easy. And I'm not here to be nice or to have anyone else be nice to me. I'm here to kill or be killed. And god damn it, one of those two things is going to happen if I have any say in the matter. Unlike some of the others featured in this video, this invasion is here because I like this invasion. I like these opponents. I enjoyed playing against them, and spoiler, I lose this invasion. It's also partly in this video to subvert the assumption that I'm mean because I like easy wins or I like easy prey. I don't. There's nothing likable about someone playing one of these games with a lacking will to fight. I find it largely contemptible and at best pitiable. I like people like those guys, people that will kick my ass if I let them, and people that aren't so keen on letting me kick their ass. Here, I've been invaded, and I'm not keen on letting him kick my ass. I'm in New Game Plus, Pure Black World Tendency, World 3-2. I could easily go, oh, it's over, there's an invader. There's a bad red man here, I'm fried. And obviously I'm more experienced in PvP than your average guy who gets invaded, but it's beside the point. I have the will to kick this guy's ass. I know what he's here for. I'm not gonna let him do it. I'm not gonna bow at him. I'm not gonna wave at him. If he did it first, maybe I would, but the point is, he's here to fight. And so am I. And I just wouldn't have it any other way. I'm including this clip and the next to illustrate that for every hapless, easy prey an invader might mercilessly kill, there's a competent player with a real build that just might kick their ass back. And I want to clarify that there's nothing special or unusual about being a competent player. I was, contrary to popular belief, not genetically augmented to be insane at these games. I simply put in the hours and never lost my will to fight, no matter how many times I got thrashed by a better player. And that's part of the point of being mean, and having others be mean to you. In the context of invasions, of course. You don't improve by giving up. And the message I want to send is that giving up should not be an option in your mind, and that I, for one, shall brook thee no quarter. So you might as well fight me and learn something. That's why I go out of my way to stomp players that have no will to fight, no killer instinct. It's to make it as embarrassing and pathetic of a death as possible. Hopefully as a deterrent towards that behavior in the future. I'm hoping to offer them conditioning away from objectively poor and subjectively uninteresting and shameful gameplay. And you might ask, should I be able to do this? Is that my place? I don't know. Is it? But I do know that the game seems to encourage this behavior mechanically, and it certainly allows for it. I'm not telling anyone how to play. I'm simply showing them an essential feature of these games that they've maybe neglected to consider thus far, and may very well continue to neglect if they so choose. But they're going to keep getting their ass kicked, and it's on them to interpret that and figure out what to do with that information. I'm simply providing the information. Another core feature and motivation to be mean in these games is that being mean finishes fights. This invasion here is a good fight. Respect. Snack Black 1998. GG, bro. It's a good fight that devolves into some real mean behavior by the end of it. As much as I enjoyed my fight against this dude, I don't want it to go on forever. I'm trying to make a YouTube video, or return to body form to fight the boss, or blacken my character tendency, or get an ember, or a hit of priceless dopamine, or whatever. Watch this. Snack Black's not playing nice. Gets that backstab and he comes out swinging with the frame perfect R1. Almost gets me. One miss input. It's the only reason I'm alive right now. Meanness is trying to knock people off the edge with the meat cleaver. It's heel punishing. It's the baby nail. It's relentlessly pursuing the kill when there's blood in the water. Meanness envelops the heart of the invader, and the invader welcomes it. I anecdotally have a friend that I was playing this game with, am playing this game with sometimes, and he's not really he's not like me, right? He likes these games, but not the way I do. And you know, me and him and my other friend Benzadrex, were all playing, and he got invaded, right? Early game, dude hit him with like scraping spear or acid cloud or something. Broke all his equipment. Like it was gonna cost him like a billion souls to repair. And you know, he was rightfully upset by this. And you know, Benzadrex goes, well, just think about it this way. You can get that and do that to someone else. And you know, my friend goes, I wouldn't do that. And I just said, you don't have the heart of an invader. Like when I see a tool of meanness used against me in one of these games, I immediately go, oh yeah, that's good. That's the killer instinct. That's the heart of the invader. And, you know, on a similar note, I always see on, you know, r/bad red man questions like, is this weapon dishonest? Is this okay? Am I twinking too hard? Etc. And like, it makes me sick. Obviously I'm being dramatic, but I thought this was r/bad red man. Did you forget the bad part? You're not bad just because you're a red man. And, you know, you're welcome to think about and play the game however you please. But it just feels like the heart of the invader I'm describing is becoming less and less common and almost socially unacceptable, which is fine, right? This behavior is like strange and outlandish, I understand. But I feel like one of those old guys that still drives a manual transmission car or like plays a Gibson or something. I'm a dying breed, man. But maybe not. This guy here, Megumi Akagari, is displaying some serious competence, killer instinct, aggression. Unfortunately, that was a big mistake. Definitely should have healed with me. It was close, but you know, he's protecting his space, challenging mine. Oh yeah. It's pretty respectable gameplay, man. Gotta hand it to him. GG, he wanted it. GG, bro. Oh, this one's brutal, man. I almost felt bad about this. But like, he was warned. He had the little message pop up and he saw me. Like, I'm glowing red. Why would you pick up an item right there, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, I guarantee someone took it easy on him when he gave up in the past. And hopefully I just unconditioned that from him. Same with this guy. Why are you just looking at me? Invasion fundamental number 1. Don't look at me. Having hyper armor in Demon Souls is crazy, man. Like, the meat cleaver is such a crazy weapon to exist. Rip. So, yeah. Back on script. I understand the friction that people have towards this sort of perceivably violent and unfair behavior. But I really think it's important to set aside our real life morality when we engage in online settings like this, or even simpler ones. Like, imagine joining a match of Call of Duty or Valorant or whatever, and expressing that you find the moral implications of shooting another man quite dubious. Quite dubious. Like, yeah, obviously in real life, we don't go around shooting people. That would be bad. This isn't that. Your teammates would likely just kick you for acting stupid and weird and not playing the damn game you signed up for when you joined the match. And that's a lot like giving up or disconnecting during invasions due to taking issue with the morality or inherent unfairness of it all. It's kind of just absurd and strange. And I understand, I think, why this happens. It's because of the unique framing and kind of context of the interactions that occur in invasions. It's obviously quite different from joining a Call of Duty lobby, on the surface at least. You know, I've seen people online, mostly on the Elden Ring main sub. Terrible place. And these people liken people who enjoy invasions to home intruders, burglars, and even other more disturbing and violent criminal offenders. You may know what I'm talking about. And while obviously ridiculous, I can see the angle. You know, invasions are, by the game, entirely framed and portrayed as a non-consensual occurrence. In game, my character is absolutely and without a shadow of a doubt a wicked specter, forcefully entering your world and posing the threat of great harm and potential loss to you. Yeah, that's like what it is. It's an invasion, you know? It's not an invitation. And the nuance that this Reddit hive mind perspective lacks is that no, you aren't entitled to quote-unquote uninterrupted co-op with your friends in Elden Ring or Bloodborne And you're not even safe in solo play so long as certain conditions are met in the rest of the games. DS2, you're like never safe, I don't think. That's by design. The game doesn't want you to feel safe or untouchable. It defeats the purpose. And underneath all the cool and interesting obfuscation of in-game online play conditions, none of which being consent, there is the real-life decision that has led you here. To me, the Red Man, mercilessly beating on that ass. And that real-life decision was to play the game. These games tell you, up front, on the box even, that invasion multiplayer is a mechanic in the game, and that if you choose to enable online play for its various benefits, you will also be met with its various consequences. So at the end of the day, being invaded is really not so different from joining a COD lobby. It's just a COD lobby that could join you while you're playing the campaign at any time. And this goes without saying, but I think this is a really freaking cool gameplay concept that only stands to be neutered by imposing our real-life morality onto it. And that's not to mention that this whole video, I've been assuming that these arguments against invaders are made in good faith and not just coping with a skill issue, which is obviously the more likely, but ultimately less interesting possibility. And listen, man, I don't invade or make videos like this to make anyone feel bad or to cause any harm. Quite the opposite. I'm just sharing my thoughts and experiences and hopefully bringing something kind of fresh to the table for y'all to chew on. I just want to enjoy these games with others in the rawest and most real way possible. I want to kick ass and have my ass kicked. I want to see heart and killer instinct out there. I want to make the Red Man bad again. Feel free to sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think, how you feel. I appreciate you watching, man. If you made it this far, why not like and subscribe, huh? I'm Big Charles. Thanks, y'all. Later.